she came home.
Carlyle's lost an empire. You fall hard enough, you tend to be reminded of what truly matters. So, the end of the line. You ready for this?
Are you? Who will you be, without a score to settle?
I guess the world's most wanted fugitive will have to do.
Alexa Carlyle is dead. According to the funeral invitation, that is. So naturally, it caused quite a stir when the late matriarch turned up at the breakfast table, alive and kicking. Carlyle, wisely sensing that her number is up, has emerged from exile to tie up loose ends and secure the Carlyle legacy. She may be a monster, but you have to admire her due diligence. Carlyle descends from an ancient line of warrior aristocrats. Her great-grandfather made a killing in the Second Opium War and established an empire in shipping, railroads, and newspaper publishing. While largely unknown to the public, the family still asserts its quiet dominance over global transport and logistics, media, and technology. Most senior of the partners, Alexa Carlyle, is cold as ice, tough as nails, and sharp as a razor. Incidentally, it was her late father who first brought the three families together after the end of World War II at this very house, meaning that this gentleman is the birthplace of Providence.
It began here, and it ends here. Talk about poetic.
One more thing. According to our intel, Carlyle keeps a case file on the Constant. Information that may be helpful in his recapture, so don't leave the estate without it.
Right. Happy hunting, 47. See you on the other side.
Thornbridge Manor. The Carlyle family's home for countless generations. The Revenant Alexa Carlyle and her 3 adult children, younger brother Zachary, grandson and daughter-in-law, are all gathered to conduct Carlyle's sham funeral. Curiously, Carlyle summoned a famous London PI soon after arriving this morning, but his purpose at Thornbridge is yet unclear. Now, the target knows that you're coming, and her guard detail is top-notch. So Mr. Gray will secure their nearby field HQ and intercept all calls going in and out of the estate. Any appeal for backup is going to fall on very deaf ears. Good luck, gentlemen.
Hello everyone, and welcome to sunny, bloody Devon. With weather like this, it's only right we indulge in the grand British tradition of tea-time murder mysteries.
Phineas Whitmer, private investigator. I have an appointment with Madame Carlyle. Please wait.
Mr. Whitmer is here to see Madame Carlyle. You can go right in.
That is Phineas Whitmer, the famous private investigator hired by Madame Carlyle this morning. I'm curious why he's here. Maybe you should do some detecting yourself, 47. A famous private investigator summoned by Alexa Carlyle has arrived at Thornbridge Manor. If you take his place, it may be an opportunity to get close to Madame Carlyle.
Follow Phineas at a distance for now. There's too many people in the gardens to get at him safely. Just hang to the right and slip in through the window.
Well, I thought she'd be mad at me, but she just thanked me. She understood the position I was in. We had a really good talk about it.
What did I tell you? She's a sensible woman.
I know.
So, I just need to check.
That's a bit excessive, considering the fact that I spotted no less than 2 routes to get inside the house.
Shit, man.
Unseen.
Caroline really did a number on you. Don't worry about that.
Whitmer will be seen through. Just wait in this hallway until he gets bored of waiting for Madame Carlyle.
Mr. Whitmer, thank you for coming on such short notice. A great tragedy has fallen upon us, and I need a quick resolution, handled with absolute discretion.
Results and discretion are my speciality.
Very well. I suppose you will want to start at the crime scene.
In my experience, a thorough examination of a potential crime scene is half the job done.
Good. Fernsby will take over from here.
I am Mr. Fernsby, the butler. Madam Carlyle has asked me to assist you in any way possible. Mr. Whitmer, I understand that you've traveled from London. Would you care for some refreshments? Or do you prefer to go straight to Mr. Zachary's sleeping quarters?
I prefer to get started.
As you wish. If you'll follow me, sir.
I'm going to be honest, this is probably my favourite story mission in the whole trilogy.
I feel obliged to point out that current affairs surrounding Madame Carlyle are of a delicate nature. You may be familiar with the recent announcement of her death. You will probably learn that a staged funeral is scheduled to take place tomorrow. Madame's children were not informed until this morning that their mother was in fact not dead at all. So please bear with me if they seem affected by the rather unusual situation. I trust I do not need to remind you that there will be consequences if word gets out that Madame Carlyle is still alive.
I'll consider her dead when I leave.
Before you inspect the crime scene, I will tell you this. The case concerns the death of Mr. Zachary, Madame Carlyle's younger brother. He was found dead in his bed this morning. The door was locked from the inside, and a suicide letter was found in his room. However, Madame Carlyle suspects foul play and will not accept that he took his own life. I've prepared some information for you, so please do come and see me when you've finished your investigation of the crime scene. This is Mr. Zachary's room, to my right.
A locked room murder mystery, 47. I trust you'll get to the bottom of this. Why don't you use your camera to scan the dead body, 47?
Throat markings indicate a rare, short-lived plant poison killed him. Spread shows time of death at around 10 o'clock last night.
You do know your poisons, 47.
Well, that's means established. Somebody probably spiked his drink.
Zachary's suicide note. Also, a sample of handwriting. It could be relevant to compare to other samples to establish its authenticity. Zachary was shopping for new Wellingtons last night. Not exactly what you would expect from someone suicidal.
A hidden door.
It's a secret passage. This could explain how the door was locked from the inside. A photocopy of the floor plans. Somebody's been researching the secret ins and outs of Thornbridge Manor. I believe you've done a thorough search of the crime scene, 47. Maybe it's time to see the butler. I'm curious about the information he's prepared for you.
And opportunity. But what about motive? Who would want some random old boy dead? Time to check in with the butler.
Mr. Fernsby, I'm done with the crime scene.
Did you establish a time of death?
Zachary died around 10 o'clock last night.
Well, that means the staff were off duty. And Madame Carlyle and her security didn't arrive until this morning. That leaves Madame's family and myself as the only persons here when he died. And before you ask, no, I do not have an alibi. I was alone in my office at the time of death. Here's the material that I've prepared for you. It's a list of the possible suspects and their quarters. Hopefully that will help you keep track of your findings. Please come and see me when you've solved the case, and I will take you to Madame Carlyle.
So our possibilities are as follows. Zachary, if he did take his own life, doubtful at this stage. Gregory, Edward, Rebecca, Emma, Patrick, and Fernsby. We'll start with questioning. All the family can be found spread out around the lower floor. We'll begin with Edward. He's in the dining room trying to put together a eulogy.
Yes, blah blah, due diligence, an almost unnatural ability to focus. I remember when I was 7 and the police came to tell us that Father had died in a car accident. You took in the information and then asked us all to wait because you had an important call you'd need to take. I remember how the officers were stunned by your strength and focus, I'm sure. And I have always strived for that sort of control in difficult situations. But I've never even come close. I'll never understand how you do it. Yes, I lost a father that day, but I gained a role model of such high standards that it has impacted every facet of my existence ever since. No, she'll say it's all about me. She hates that.
Professor Edward Carlyle, can you tell me your whereabouts for last night?
Oh, yes, this dreadful business with Zachary. I stay at the local inn. You see, I prefer not to spend the night here at Thornbridge Manor. My brother Gregory came along for a nightcap. He'll never admit it, but I think he understands that I find this whole thing upsetting and wanted to provide some comfort. I believe we went to the Stag's Head around 8:30. If that's all, I have a speech to write.
Can you tell me about Zachary's behavior last night?
I certainly didn't expect him to commit suicide. Sure, he was upset by Mother's supposed death. We were. But he seemed more engaged than usual. You should ask Rebecca. They had a long talk. Did you know that he hadn't left Thornbridge Manor in nearly 50 years? His plants, Mother, and the staff are all the company he had. Anything else I can do to help?
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary?
You mean apart from the fact that we came here to bury our mother and she shows up alive and kicking? Zachary found dead in his bed this morning? Or perhaps that the planned funeral is still taking place and I have to do the eulogy? And Mother will surely have a strong opinion on it afterwards. I can't breathe. Excuse me.
Jeez, he's a real wet fish. Safe to say he didn't do it. And the handwriting of the eulogy doesn't match up with Zachary's note. Next up is Gregory.
Gregory Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Oh, you're wondering about my alibi, Mr. Detective. Well, I left Thornbridge around 8:30 for a pint with Edward. I wish I hadn't. Quiz night at the inn. On the other hand, staying here with Zachary, my obnoxious sister, and the wife sporting another one of her headaches would have been a fate worse than death. The short of it, Zachary was very much alive when we left. I stayed for the last shout, and I was back here just before midnight. Anything else?
Tell me about Zachary.
Zach? Huh. Such a sad old sod. A bit heavy on the bottle, but who could blame him? Only company he had was his rare plants and Mother, who travels more than she stays here. Honestly, I can't say which is the bigger bore. He's better off dead. Is that all? Not very thorough, are you?
Anything else you'd like to tell me?
Nothing really. I'm just enjoying the show. Our perfect mother obviously fucked up, didn't she? Faking her own death. You know, she's explained nothing to us. I think she's scared to own up to her own mistake.
That all lines up with Edward's claims. Don't see any motive, or much of anything from him. Probably safe to cross him out too. Now for Emma.
Emma Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Surely I'm not a suspect.
I need to account for everyone.
Well, I spent the evening with my family, but I got an awful migraine and had to take to bed. Everyone can attest to that. I believe I went up when the boys sat down for a drink around 8 o'clock. Is that all?
How did you feel about Zachary?
I might as well be honest. His presence was always awkward. How do you have a meaningful conversation with a man who only cares about plants? In my opinion, Alexa bears some responsibility for how this ended. She supported his self-limiting behavior by letting him live here. Anything else you want to know?
Have you noticed anything else out of the ordinary?
Nothing special comes to mind. Except, perhaps, I did get a feeling that Zachary was depressed, not just sad. I suppose he realized that he had no one with Alexa gone. Even Alexa must feel the pangs of guilt over that one, letting him believe she was dead. Then again, guilt isn't her strong suit.
She was very quick to deflect, and very close to what Zachary wrote in his note. Rebecca.
Rebecca Carlyle. Can you tell me about yesterday evening?
We don't really see much of each other, my brothers and I. I suppose it takes our mother's funeral to bring us together, and even then, it's not like we sit on each other's laps. Now, let's see. Patrick, Gregory's son, disappeared straight after dinner. You know, I think he might be in some sort of trouble. Edward wanted to go as well, but Gregory convinced him to stay for a few drinks before they went off for a pint at the local at 9:15. I swear Gregory enjoys Edward's discomfort over staying here. I had a conference call with my New York office at 9, so I spent 3 hours on my laptop in my room and went straight to bed afterwards. I don't know about Emma. She did act a bit strange. You know, I bet she was making lists for changes needing to be done once she gets her hands on Thornbridge Manor. Quite the shock she had when Mother arrived during breakfast. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Tell me about Zachary. Did he act strange last night?
You know, now you mention it, he was a lot more chatty than usual. He wanted to know about my connections in the publishing business. Apparently, a friend of his is writing a book, which strikes me as very peculiar. I didn't think he had any friends. Is that everything, Mr. Whitmer?
Anything else you feel like mentioning?
I may be wrong, but I saw Mr. Fernsby, the butler, leave Zachary's room early this afternoon. And he seemed a bit startled when he saw me in the hallway. It's probably nothing. Oh, and one more thing. Please be kind to Edward. He can only take so much. Is there anything else you want to
Patrick
ask?
disappeared right after dinner? Well, that's suspicious. And Zachary being chatty cancels out what Emma says. And
Don't worry
lastly,
about
Patrick. He'll hang around in the billiards room on his phone or playing pool by himself.
Patrick Carlyle. Can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Shit, it's that sneaky butler, isn't it? He ratted me out. Elaine, give us some privacy, would you? Don't tell Mother, okay? She's really tense these days, and the last thing I need is more hassle. I took that pretty blonde, Rosie, for an evening stroll. I mean, how the fuck am I expected to cope for an entire weekend in this shithole? I'm bored out of my mind. If that's all, I think I'll get back to my slow death by boredom.
What did you think of Zachary?
Creepy as hell. No ambition. Imagine deciding to live in a museum. You know, Father says Zachary and Alexa used to be two of a kind. He had a great future ahead of him, then suddenly, he just gave up everything. What an idiot. Thank God Daddy chose looks and brains over pedigree when he married Mummy. I don't have to worry about the inbreeding so customary in these circles. So, is that it?
Did you see anything suspicious last night?
No. I reckon Zachary topped himself. I know I would have. Or perhaps Mr. Fernsby. I don't like him. He could have done it.
Jeez, this guy. No, he's no killer. Guy is way too soft for that. But one good person to chat with that's easy to miss is the maid Rosie in the staff area.
Gentleman. He gave me his coat and all.
Rosie, you need to forget about Patrick. No good's gonna come of it. Stick to your own kind.
You mean like Chris? He treated me like shit. All he wanted to do was play his stupid video games, never any romance. I deserve romance.
Rosie, tell me what you did last night.
I'm in trouble, aren't I? I spent the evening with Patrick. We met after dinner and I went home at 1 in the morning. He said he needed someone real to talk to. When he looks at you, it makes you feel like the center of the universe. Like a real princess.
But now he just ignores her.
Well, he's under a lot of pressure.
He's an idiot. That's what he is.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary? Any strangers outside the house?
No, we saw no one outside. Except Patrick's mother, Emma. We were sitting on the bench behind the greenhouse talking when she came out and we had to hide. You won't tell her about me and Patrick, will you? She'd insist Madame Carlyle fire me. I'm sure of it.
Too right she will. She's always going on about how things will change once she's in charge of Thornbridge Manor.
Ah, and that provides Patrick with an alibi. If he was with Rosie all night, that's pretty decisive. But what's going on with Emma in the gardens? Well, we're down here. There's a clue just out on the stairs. Muddy footprints. Time to start checking some rooms. We'll start with the butler's office.
That is the door to Mr. Fernsby's office. Zachary's diary. This is big. He was about to confess to the world that he and Alexa murdered their older brother Montgomery 46 years ago. And apparently, Mr. Fernsby helped make the murder look like an accident. And 47, the handwriting doesn't match the suicide letter in his room, proving he didn't write it himself.
Aha! The journal doesn't match the handwriting on the note. But neither does Fernsby's to-do list.
Painkiller. Lethal if you use enough of them.
But not the poison used to kill Zachary. Of course, Madame Carlyle doesn't know that. Are you considering to frame the butler, 47? Mr. Fernsby clearly didn't commit the murder, but I think you have enough evidence to convince Madame Carlyle he did.
Next up, Rebecca's room.
I can see from the log that Rebecca was in a conference call from 9 p.m. to midnight last night.
Even if the laptop logs didn't exonerate her, there's a sample of handwriting here that again doesn't match. That leaves Emma and Gregory's bedroom. Muddy shoes. If you were paying attention, you might have noticed that Emma is wearing trainers.
A keychain pendant for the greenhouse. What's that doing in Emma and Gregory's room, I wonder? And why is the key missing?
And the fob for the greenhouse keys. But what's this?
Now this is interesting, 47. A letter from Emma's mother stating that Emma is the illegitimate child of Alexa's late older brother, Montgomery. And listen to this. She claims to have witnessed Alexa and Zachary murder him. The plot thickens.
Wait. That means Emma and Gregory are half-siblings. Oh, rich people! And finally, this walking cane, which allows you to open the door to the secret areas from the outside. I'd say that pretty conclusively pins the blame on Emma, but what precisely was she doing at the greenhouse? Doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Poisonous plants and a distillery.
Broken lab equipment. It looks like it was recently used, though.
This is a table showing lethal dosages for the poison used to kill Zachary.
Something is circled, 47. Female, age 65 to 79, 60 to 64 kilograms. I'd say Madame Carlyle is next in line for a poisoning. You have uncovered enough evidence to tell Madame Carlyle that Emma is the murderer. Quite the detective, 47. I'm impressed. I suggest you go tell Mr. Fernsby.
Alright, time to report the findings.
I'm ready to present my conclusion to Madame Carlyle.
Very well. If you'll follow me, sir.
Your detective skills have gained you access to the Lion's Den, 47. Now, go claim your reward.
So, Mr. Whitmer, you've reached a conclusion. Take a seat. Please, go ahead.
Your niece, Emma Carlyle, murdered your brother Zachary.
My niece? Emma is not my niece. She's my daughter-in-law.
And your niece. Emma is the illegitimate child of your late older brother Montgomery, who you and Zachary killed 46 years ago.
That's preposterous.
You asked me to find out what happened to Zachary. Would you rather not know?
No. No, go on.
I found a letter from Emmer's mother, Jane, who was the fiancée of your older brother at the time of his death. She witnessed how you and Zachary pushed him off the balcony. She believed you did it to steal the Carlisle empire from her and her unborn child. And she raised Emmer to reclaim what she lost. Marry your heir, Gregory, get revenge, and secure the Carlisle empire for her bloodline generations to come.
Emma is the daughter of Montgomery and that local girl, Jane.
She is.
Well, the girl got it wrong. I didn't steal anything. I did what was necessary to protect the future of the Carlyles. Montgomery wasn't cut out to take over from Father. All heart and no balls.
Emma used the funeral gathering to speed up her installment as the lady of the house, seizing the opportunity to stage Zachary's suicide. She did her homework, used a poison made from one of Zachary's rare plants, found old floor plans from Thornbridge Manor to gain access to his room through a secret passage.
Bitch.
More than you think. I found proof that she will try to poison you next.
Well, I'll have to take care of that. Thank you, Mr. Whitmer. You have not disappointed. I promised you I would reward you generously if you solved the case. So, what do you suggest?
I want the file you have on Arthur Edwards.
Edwards, the Constant. But how do you... Oh, I see. I expected you might show up. But to kill me, not help me. But I've been wrong on so many things lately, so why not this one? I will give you the file on Edwards. You've earned it. I don't suppose I could convince you to deal with my daughter-in-law now you're here. I would like to see her dead. No? What a shame. I'll have to see to it some other way, then. The file you want is in the safe. God, I hope you get Edwards and make him hurt. I need some privacy. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Good work, 47. That's the file on Arthur Edwards secured. Time to take care of Madame Carlisle.
But there's one more secret. In a hidden area just off the main stairwell is a 50-year-old letter which we can use to bend our facts.
An old letter, 47. Never opened. Must have slid under the secret door nearly 46 years ago. It states that Alexa Carlisle's older brother, Montgomery, wanted Alexa to become the heir to the Carlisle Empire instead of himself. Interesting.
Your brother committed suicide.
I need to see some evidence to believe that, Mr. Whitmer.
Zachary was found dead in a room locked from the inside. He died from a rare poisonous plant he cultivated himself. He believed you were dead, and a suicide note explained that he did not have the courage to go on without you.
That's what I don't buy. I cared for him deeply, but the truth is he hated my guts. My death would not make him commit suicide, I can promise you that.
Perhaps the death of your older brother, Montgomery, then. I have found evidence showing that you and Zachary killed him nearly 50 years ago. I believe that was when Zachary turned recluse. Your brother recently uncovered proof that your past deeds were for nothing. A letter from Montgomery stating that he wanted you, Madame Carlisle, to take over from your father instead of himself, as you were better suited to the job. Everything would have turned out the way you wanted, without anyone dying. What broke Zachary once, now destroyed him.
And you saw this letter?
I did.
Oh, Zachary. How royally I fucked up. Mr. Whitmer, I'm sorry, I just need to gather my thoughts. Right. The payment for your services, have you decided on an amount?
Arthur Edwards. You have a file on him.
Arthur Edwards. How do you... I see. Well played. For many, many years I feared what I'd see when I finally met death. And now you sit before me, and I feel only peace. You see, I believe life is a fair fight, and I lost spectacularly in every way imaginable. It is time for me to leave the pit. Oh, before I get to that, your reward. The file you want is in the safe. A last wish from a dying woman. Get Edwards and make him suffer. So long. I need some privacy. Thank you.
Just keep calm.
Good work, 47. That's the file on Arthur Edwards secured. Time to take care of Madame Carlyle.
There'll be no need, Diana. Jesus, that was morbid. Alright, time to ratchet the comedy back up, I think. Head off to the fountain to check in on the photographer for our next opportunity.
Ethel looked everywhere.
We've got to be kidding. No power, no point.
Oh, Madame Carlyle will be furious. She expects the family photo to be done any moment now.
I need this shoot to happen, okay? And I need it to be perfect. Can't we just take a fuse from another fuse box?
I guess we could do that.
Good. I'll finish setting up, and then we'll grab the fuse just before you call down the family.
Good. Yeah, that's a good plan.
So, Madame Carlyle wants a picture taken. If you were to assist with the missing fuse, I'm sure the portrait would be one for the ages.
The maid will not move from the seat, so we can just snag the photographer as easy as he walks by. Now, we'll need a crowbar to get the fuse. There's one behind the greenhouse on a pile of crates.
Oh, sounds like the power's back up.
Why don't you take a picture to test it?
Say cheese!
It works. I'm ready for the shoot.
Perfect. I'll call the family down now then.
Quickly grab the screwdriver and loosen the wire while everyone's gathering up.
Excellent, 47. Madame Carlyle is on her way down for the family photo shoot. Let's see if any memorable moments will play out in front of the camera.
Edward, you can't let Mother get to you like this.
You've always been immune to her. How do you do it?
I'm the youngest. Guess I just flew under the radar when it came to her attention.
I don't think so. She really respects you.
If you just stopped craving her approval. You're nearly 50, Edward.
I know. I'm such a loser.
Right ahead, please.
But you're not. You're a professor.
I expect you to be efficient. I have a lot to see to today.
I'll do my best.
Listen, everyone. I understand that you have a lot of questions. Please be patient for a little longer. I will address you in the sitting room afterwards. Right, get in position. Let's get this over with. There's a puddle of water here. Oh, never mind. Let's just get this done, shall we?
Chin up, Edward. No one wants to look at that long face.
You're such an idiot, Gregory.
I'm fine, Rebecca.
Fine? You look like a nervous wreck.
Stop bickering.
Well, Mother, you certainly know how to lighten the mood.
Gotta love those old wrought iron chairs, eh?
That's Madame Carlyle taken care of.
But what if we didn't do that? If you take the photo as normal, without shocking Alexa, she'll host a meeting indoors.
That will be enough. No need to spend the entire day here. Please, everybody, go to the sitting room.
Quickly repair the distillery with the spanner that can be found on the fountain before you follow.
47.
I know you had a lot of questions. Some I will answer now. The rest will have to wait. First, Zachary's sudden death is a great tragedy, but also a great inconvenience, as it happened just now. I'm dealing with the situation in a discreet and efficient way, and I expect your cooperation in all related matters. Secondly, the arranged funeral event tomorrow will take place as planned. No one can know that I am still alive. I expect you all to act your part. Last, as you all know, I have a lot on my plate and need to focus on sorting everything out, so please do not disturb me with your petty concerns. You are all adults, and as part of the elite, you will eventually have to deal with difficult situations like this. It comes late for most of you, but this is a chance for you to show what you are made of. That will be all.
Emma will now move extremely shiftily towards the greenhouse and prepare her bottled lightning to strike twice.
Oh, thank God. It works again. What a relief.
That's Madame Carlyle taken care of. Time to get the file on Arthur Edwards.
But we still need to get the case file either way. Get yourself one of these suited guards outfits and you can walk right on into Alexa's office.
Gotta dig this place. Ancestral graveyard, trophy room, and the office safe is hidden behind a portrait, with a secret mechanism for uncovering it. It's got real soul.
First time here?
Yep.
Yeah, it's impressive, all right.
A safe in Madame Carlyle's office. I bet that's where she keeps the file on Arthur Edwards.
Hit the button on the chair to reveal the safe. Now it's time for a Resident Evil puzzle.
I wonder if there might be some sort of a code. Maybe have a look around the office, 47.
The clock, 1. The telescope, 9. The fireplace, 7. The stag, 5. OPSEC is not these people's strong suit. I guess they never thought it would come to this. While you're up here, crack the shortcut by climbing the ledge and out the window. It'll make getting out easier, as well as a challenge later. Time to stop teasing and check out this false funeral that we've been hearing so much about. The graveyard is next to the big ruined chapel building at the far end of the grounds.
Arrangements for the staged funeral tomorrow? What's the delay?
It's the birds. They're making a racket, droppings everywhere. The Undertaker wants them gone before he'll see Madame Carlyle. He's in a right state. So unless you want to take on the birds, I suggest you stay clear of him.
Oh, no, my aim's horrible.
Madame Carlyle is still going ahead with her staged funeral tomorrow, and she wants to inspect the arrangements. How about it, 47? You feel up to giving her the grand tour of her final resting place?
To get rid of the birds, hide somewhere and just shoot the nests. There's 3 across these 2 trees. Once that's done, knock out the only other gardener and grab the Undertaker as he passes through. Rather on the nose, wouldn't you say, 47?
I am ready to show Madame Carlyle the funeral arrangements.
You got rid of the birds?
Yes.
Perfect. I'll let her know.
Well done, 47. Madame Carlyle is on her way. I wonder how she will like her final resting ground.
Mr. Parsons, I don't like to be kept waiting. I trust we can be efficient now I'm here.
I can be very efficient, Madam Carlyle.
What's that picture of me doing here? What an awful idea. I want it removed before the ceremony tomorrow. I find that having family members do the eulogy is more often than not a toe-cringing affair. I've never understood the need to publicly display grief. A person died. Most natural thing in the world. No need to make an emotional spectacle of it. I hope you haven't planned for one of those. And the gravestone. Granite. Solid. No fuss. I like it. Well done, Mr. Parsons. I approve. So, to sum up, I expect you to remove my picture from the memorial. That was an absolutely horrendous idea. Very unfit for these historical surroundings. This is my ancestral burial ground. Stop!
That's Madam Carlyle taken care of. Time to get the file on Arthur Edwards.
Congrats on getting the world's shittiest bodyguard achievement, you dimwit. There's one more method to get the case file. Go to the back porch and listen in on these two guards.
Rebecca? Yes. She's insistent, that one. She kept asking all kinds of questions. Who had the other one? Well, I gave it to her, that's all. Make sure she didn't see you give the other one to the butler.
Of course.
So Rebecca and the butler have the two tokens we need. For the butler, head to the billiard room and knock out Patrick. Then, when the butler comes through on his patrol, knock him out too.
That's a token for a vault in the Milton Fitzpatrick London Bank. You need a pair, and you gain access no questions asked. I bet that's where Madam Carlyle keeps a copy of the Edwards file.
For Rebecca, go to the trophy room. Knock out the one guard when he's examining the birdcage, and then get Rebecca quickly when her back is turned. Shush! Ahem. First try. For the Keep Calm and Aim challenge, we need to snipe Madame Carlyle from the roof of the house. And for that, we need to get her out of the house. To do that, simply head to the graveyard and shoot out the bird's nest again. But this time, don't trouble the Undertaker. Move quickly, as the Undertaker will do one patrol loop and then go and fetch Madam. Climb up the pipe on one side of the building and shimmy all the way to the next one. Then up the shortcut ladder that we opened before. Now simply time your shot, then grab the case file and leave at your leisure. Now to bring it all home. Cross the gardens one last time, and grab this brick from the floor as you pass. You will need a blunt throwable. Cross the back patio and climb this pipe the same way that we did for Sniper Assassin. And then into the office via the top. Pacify the guard and hide him away. While we're waiting for Madame Carlyle, grab the case file all sneaky-like, and then go into this side door for Alexa's Screamatorium. Get comfy. She'll be around eventually to vent all the pent-up frustration.
Don Yates, Alexa Carlyle here. You need to explain yourself. I demand that you return my call ASAP. Sending a junior attorney is gross negligence of your responsibilities and will have consequences for your company and you personally as well. I will make sure of that. Mark my words. You negligent shit! Spineless, despicable, nitwitted little man! How I would just... Whoa! Shit! Piss! Hypocrite!
Friendship is magic, bitch! Now to leave.
Mission complete. Well done, 47.
Sorry, Diana, what was that? You're breaking up.
47. They're everywhere. Go, get out! It's the Constantine. Shit!
Oh, crap! I'll see you next week, everyone.
Don't respond, just listen. Diana can't help you now. You need to find Olivia. She will know what to do. I wish there had been more time.
And then there were none. Thank you, Miss Burnwood. Now, it's my turn.
Stay down. Boss wants you alive.
Yeah? How about now?
Over here! Cover me!
Walk away!
Or what? You gonna take us all on?
Don't. Tell the Constant to start running!
You think you've won? 47 is out there. And 47 never misses his mark.
Neither do you, Miss Burnwood. That's what makes you valuable.
You're delusional. You think I would betray 47?
Trust me, you owe him nothing.
What is this?
I told you we could help each other, and I meant it. I look forward to your call.
Gray is gone. Go to Berlin and stay out of sight. We're all that's left now.